Welcome back to Healthy Planet, Healthy Me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our guest in studio today. Dr. Eric Pearl, as a chiropractor, ran a highly successful practice for 12 years until one day patients began reporting that they felt his hands on them when they were not. Patients were reporting miraculous healings from cancers, AIDS-related diseases, epilepsy, chronic fatigue syndrome, multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and osteoporosis, cerebral palsy, and other serious afflictions. His patients' healings have been documented in 6 books, including Eric's own international bestseller titled The Reconnection, Heal Ourselves, Heal Yourself. So I'd like to welcome, for the first time to Healthy Planet, Healthy Me, Dr. Eric Pearl.
Thanks for having me.
Sure thing. Dr. Pearl, let's go ahead and start off, and if you can tell us the reconnection, what is the reconnection, and how did reconnective healing emerge?
Sort of emerged one night. I was awakened by a light while I was still in bed asleep, obviously, which is about the only way you can get awakened. And it was a very strange feeling because I couldn't figure out what this light was. I opened my eyes, it was just my lamp. It wasn't anything seemingly spiritual or metaphysical, but it had turned itself on, just turned itself on and woke me up. And at the same time I felt people in my house, which is a very creepy feeling. So I got up bravely with a knife, a can of pepper spray, and my Doberman pinscher, and went hunting. And about 20 minutes into the hunt, I realized several things. There was clearly someone there, and yet I could look all night and I'd never find them. And for some inexplicable reason, I finally decided to go back to sleep so I'd be okay for my patients in the morning. When I went into work on that Monday, 7 of my patients independently insisted that they felt people in the room with us, just like I had felt people in the room at my home that night. And they said it felt like people. Some said standing, some walking, some running. And 2 of my patients actually looked me straight in the eye and they said, it felt as if someone was flying around the ceiling. Now, you would think that that would have gotten my attention. But other patients were saying, I can feel your hands before you touch me. My palms blistered a couple of times, and my palm actually bled once. Not like a stigmata, more as if you took a pin or a needle and accidentally stuck your palm, that little bit of blood that comes out, but just the same, there it was. And the next thing we know, people started having healings. They were getting up out of wheelchairs and hearing and vision returning and showing us laboratory reports of their cancers disappearing, and parents were calling in and said, my child with cerebral palsy can walk and talk again. What's going on? What did you do? And I said, nothing, and don't tell anyone, which went over about as big as Nancy Reagan just saying no to drugs. So the next thing you know, people are coming in from all over North America, and as word comes out about this, people are saying, teach it. And I said, teach it? You got to be crazy. How the heck am I going to teach it? I'm standing here waving my hands in the air, looking like an idiot. Wave your hands in the air, look like an idiot, tell me what happens. But more and more of my patients would call and say when they got home after their session with me, they walked into their house and their lamp or television or stereo started turning itself off and on and off and on. They felt sensations in their hands. They would hold their hands by someone in their family, and they started having healings too. And that's when we discovered that once you interact with this, what science, what the researchers are saying, is a new level of healing that takes us beyond energy healing that we've never had access to here on the planet before. Once we interact with this, we can then learn how to access it and use it for our own healing, the healing of others, and our own potential evolution of humanity, of mankind.
When you talk about once one interacts with this, do you call it a frequency? Is it a frequency?
One of the carriers of this is a bandwidth of frequency that is so broad from what we've been able to recognize and determine, and there's lots and lots and lots of research specifically on reconnective healing because it's so different than energy healing, and yet it includes energy healing. So this spectrum, this bandwidth, has energy, light, and information. Now, what we have had before that we've been able to access here have been the energy healing approaches. We've had the subsets of energy, different subsets, and we've given them different names: Reiki, Jurei, Jinshin, Qigong, Mahjong, Beijing, EFG, XYZ, 1, 2, 3, and it's all about me. Breathe it in, blow it out, all the different techniques. And of course, Reiki feels different than Jinshin or than Qigong because they're different subsets of energy. But this spectrum or bandwidth includes the entirety of energy, and even that we've discovered isn't the full set. The entirety of energy
in the universe?
Right. The entirety of energy is only a subset of what we are calling today the reconnective healing spectrum, which is energy expanding into light and into information.
Now, we're not going to have an opportunity today to actually do a healing here on the show. However, if you maybe we can see what it feels like, or if there's a certain energy.
I can let someone here feel it, and then they can describe it.
Describe it. Okay. So we have Vito D'Ambrosio, who is. We've pulled him in here, one of the producers of the show, and
but probably not from across this table.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to do a little seating.
So bring your
here.
chair over there.
Vito, why don't you hold your hand just like that for me? Perfect. Now, when we do this work, what I do is I allow my hand to come in, and it begins to float. If I push my hand down, it sort of floats back up as if my arm and hand is made of styrofoam floating on the surface of water. And I'm not pushing, I'm not sending. I follow that sensation, and I almost seem to pull as if it's stretch it outward a little bit. And Vito, when I do this, you either feel nothing or you feel something. So you tell me.
I feel something.
Here, can you describe it? Can you lean forward and describe it? Or here, go ahead. We'll take that mic.
Okay. It feels like, I guess, an energy pulling at my fingers.
Now, if we could use a word other than energy so people can actually understand what it feels like, how would you describe the sensation?
Well, it seems to be coming from inside of my finger, and it's...
Which strikes you funny. Why?
It's just not used to having a feeling coming out of my finger.
Okay.
It's not really... Well, like there, I felt a sensation of like something pushing at my finger in a couple of places up and down the finger, the inside.
Now, is it the same as when we started, or has it changed?
It feels a little stronger now.
Right, it feels stronger now. Now, the funny thing is, what the camera has picked up, and I don't know whether you noticed, is the only difference between when we started and now is that my hands are further away. This is not energy healing. This is much more. Energy by itself, since it's only a subset of the healing spectrum, science has explained to me, the researchers have explained, becomes weaker with distance. It falls apart because it's not complete, and we've only been working with subsets of that incomplete subset. But with this, with the reconnective healing spectrum, it is so complete that as we allow ourselves to step back, instead of being in the fear of not getting too far away, the universe comes in and supports us and makes it more, brings a more comprehensive level of healing. The universe actually steps in and supports, and we are not needed. What are you smiling about? What are you feeling?
Some kind of sensation. I'm not sure what it is.
That's right. You don't have to be. I'm not sure what it is, and I've been running around the world teaching this for the past almost 16 years. So welcome to the club.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks for being a volunteer.
Thank you. Maybe we are, as we evolve as human beings, tapping into something else. I think we can all sense that we are. We'll see you soon. Keep supporting KPFK. Thanks for listening.